is Jessica with Complete Restoration. Thank you for tuning in this morning to listen to our Complete Contractor Conversations, where we dive in with the contractors that we work with to help you see who we are, who they are, and how we best serve you. So let's jump in. Today we have Marty with Brass Ridge Electric. We're going to take some time to just kind of talk about who he is and what his company does. So Marty, I will let you introduce yourself.
Well, my name's Marty Patrice. Born and raised down in Butte, America. Me and my wife have both born and raised in Butte. Both of our great-grandparents immigrated from Europe and Ireland in the early 1900s to work the mines. My wife's been going to school to become a physician. Ended up having to leave Butte about 5 years ago, go to California for a medical fellowship. Upon completion of that, we had a few places in Montana we were going to move back to. Butte was not one of them, and Kalispell was our first choice. So we made the move up to Kalispell a couple years ago. I did my electrical apprenticeship 20 years ago. I graduated with my journeyman's test about 15 years ago. When I graduated, I kind of rolled into the utility world for a long time, building high voltage substations. Maintained my state electrical license, and when I came up here, I decided there wasn't a better time for me to try to start my own electrical business, and I just went headfirst into it. And primarily doing residential work. It's just me. I don't have employees. I don't really strive to grow the business to have more employees. I just want to be one-man deal bouncing around. So that's where it's at. And ended up finding you guys through some mutual friends up here. You guys reached out to me, done a little bit of work for you. So that's kind of my backstory with the electrical.
Perfect. Where did you get your name?
I'm a big hunter. I love going hunting. One of the hunting parks that my family's hunted in for quite literally, well, a couple drainages we've hunted in southwest Montana for quite literally 100 years. One of the parks that we hunt in, we call it Brass Ridge Electric. And there's a reason for it. It's a local name, so you're not going to find it on Onyx, all you listeners, on where it's at. Like, we've had very good success in there, and I mean, my great-grandfathers killed elk in it, my grandfather, my dad, myself, hopefully my son one day. And so that's the name that I decided to go with.
You just knew. You were like, I know.
That's it.
I got in the spot.
Yep.
So, hey, we can't Google it. So
we can't Google it. You won't find it anywhere. It's a family name.
I won't pry. I know you got to respect people's secret sources.
Yeah.
So with hunting, it's interesting. That's such an interesting, I mean, in a good way, that's where your name comes from. Because it fits so perfectly being an electric company.
Electric, I mean, we do use some brass and electrical, mostly copper, but it's still just rings with electrical, I think.
Yeah, you won't forget it, which is nice, because that's what you want them to walk away with. Yeah. So on our side, just to explain to the audience, with Complete Restoration, we use Marty as a contractor with us because we are not electricians. So when it passes that realm, that's when we give him a call and say, hey, we need your help outside of our scope, which has been wonderful. Communications that we've gotten from our customers are over the moon. We actually got a Google review where she mentioned your name in it as well. She was so over the moon with the work that you did.
Excellent.
Can you tell us a little bit about what services you provide?
I mean, all my services are pretty much everything related to residential style work. I've got a lot of experience in the commercial and industrial world as well. I mean, basically everything associated with residential work, I've got it. So that's remodels, that's changing a light fixture out, that's adding lights in a ceiling, that's panel change outs, troubleshooting circuit problems in a house, new construction. I'm doing a lot of larger homes, complete new construction from the start to the finish. Really like to work with the customers. A lot of times a new customer will give me a set of prints, and kind of the standard is you get a set of prints handed on your desk. That set of prints is there, and that's your Bible. You build off of them prints. That's you build everything to print. You can't get any pushback on what kind of work you did. There's a lot of times that I'm seeing though that light layouts, outlet layouts and stuff are just not going to work. I just don't feel the customer is going to be happy with that. So where they're located, how many of them, I just feel like it's a better product at the end.
For them. Well, and I think it's a great point to bring up of, because if you think of any, homeowner or someone, you're not going to know what you know. You see it time after time. And it's our job to educate you. It's their job to educate themselves enough to pick the right contractor. And then when they pick you, then the education changes where now we're holding your hand and we're leading you to the job that you want, but then helping with the knowledge that we bring. So I think that's wonderful. For growing, so for our listeners, Marty actually does not have a website.
And I will not have a website.
How do you grow your business not having a website or like a Google page?
I'm a bit of an old soul when it comes to stuff like this. I don't do advertising. I got business cards. The way that I've worked starting the business is I do cold calls to properties. If I see a new house getting built somewhere, I will stop in and hand them a card, shake the builder's hand, and just say, hey, this is what I do. This is what I offer. I know that, if you have contractors you're working for and you're happy with them, great. I'm not meaning to come in here, undercut anybody or steal business from anybody. If you get in a pinch down the road, give me a shot. I truly do believe the best advertising you can do for business is your quality of work and your effectiveness of work and your personality at work. You don't need to advertise. If you are, that's my opinion. If you're doing a good enough work, your work will do the advertising for you.
That's wonderful. That's even with doing where it's like, I don't want to say a one and done, but in a sense, you should only touch a house once, right? You do the electrical once.
And it's even more important if you do run into an issue. Listen, we're not all perfect. Every contractor, if a contractor is going to tell you that they never make a mistake, that would be the first red flag that I would have. We all have them issues. We've all had them issues in business. It's even more important if there is something made or something's not working correctly. I think it's even more important to get there and get a fix for them right away than getting the house done in a timely manner. So you really, that's my take. So all I have is business cards. I don't have any social media platforms or websites or anything. It's just a word of mouth thing. And there's pros and cons to being a one-man shop. The pros are when I show up to a house, I'm showing up just me. I'm showing up just one hourly wage. There's a lot of shops that are going to send two guys regardless to do quite a bit of work. Then they're going to get paid more. But the con to me is I'm not going to get the job done as fast as another shop will with two guys. So you've got to weigh out it as a customer. Do you need it done really fast? And you're talking a small job could be 2 hours versus 4 hours. You're talking a big project being, like a house rough-in. You're talking being, a 2 to 3 week rough-in or a week to a week and a half rough-in on a new house. Having one guy versus two guys. Some of these general contractors that I've talked to about this, and I say I'm just a one-man guy. So like if you're in a pinch and you need to get this done right away, in a short time period, I might not be the guy that should do this for you.
That's wonderful transparency to have, though, of like, hey, if you expect a deadline in 2 weeks, to say, hey, I might not be the
I might not, but it's just me.
Because they can either decide to adjust their timeline and say, no, we want brass ridge electric, or, okay.
And from my experience, the credibility you gain by having that transparency at the very beginning is crucial in the relationship that you build with somebody. Just be upfront with them at the beginning. Don't hold a carrot in front of them. Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Don't worry about it. I'll be there, because I've seen it over and over again.
Where they overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah. So just do what you say you're going to do, and if you say you're going to get something done in a time period, make damn sure you get it done in that time period. Just by doing that, and that's the whole advertising thing. You succeed in your promise with that. What are the chances that general contractor hires you back again? At least a lot higher than what it would be if you didn't get it done for them.
Yeah, if you didn't meet the expectations, you weren't truthful about your timelines. I would say for us, extremely high, if you're going to be honest, especially with emergency services. You've seen it where we call and we're like, here's the cards we've got on the table to know of like, hey, what's your timeline? Can you make this or not? And then relay to the customer of like, when is your house going to be back to where it was? Is it going to be an extra day? Is it fine? Or is it same day? Because for us, we're totally at the whim of, them. It's like we have to make it happen in that time frame or get at least enough of it done where, it's like the emergency's over and the repairs and the restoration comes in. For it's like the mold, we're 48-hour crank and done. So it's enough where it's like the emergency's out for them and then they can start carrying on. But that transparency is beyond nice. So kind of going with that, what are your thoughts on local businesses and local partnerships?
Oh, I think they're extremely important. I mean,
you don't have to be biased here.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, the greatest working relationships that I have with customers are small businesses. I'm trying to word this correctly. It just you get a lot better service, I feel, going with local businesses a lot better treatment with local businesses than being big chain stores. The customer service is top notch. You know, yeah, you could save a few bucks, you know, going to Amazon and buying light fixtures and stuff like that. My take on it is, for me, like, I go to Platter, I go to Crescent to get my materials. I buy the cheapest light fixtures at Amazon or something, and I save myself $500 on a project for recessed lighting. I go back in there, and that small business is like, well, what kind of lights are you going to run for that place? I bought them at Amazon. What's the chances of them really trying to help you out and work with you when they know that I'm not getting everything from them? And I think they treat me very well. Both of them places do, because I really try to stay very strict on who I go to and building that relationship with them local businesses.
And that rapport, and I think that goes towards, you know, if you're referring or subcontracting or, you know, just going and getting your supplies from local, it's nice to know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Like, that's where, you know, I think for us, you know, it's nice to know the whole company. If you're a one-man show or you're a 4 or you're a 5, knowing like the values that you bring and checking and being like, no, here's what we value and what you value, and then being able, you know, for like our customers, they've loved you when we call, where it's like, you know, you guys picked a really good contractor to work with. Just, you know, it carries the job, because you think we can come in and do an amazing smackdown. We got it. We did a good job. But if the contractor after, you know, maybe comes in grumpy or just something simple like that, you know, it's both now. It's not just one going. So it's like when it's local and you can kind of know, like, hey, who are you truthfully talking to? Who's going to show up, and be able to emphasize that to a customer of like, no, you are going to love them, we promise. So for our listeners, I'll have with our podcast Marty's number for you guys to get a hold of him.
And my email to them. I do have an email. I'm not that far out of the...
So we'll have email, no website, which is fine, because they can get a hold of you that way.
Sorry. For the listeners, just don't be afraid to ask the contractor questions. You know, some customers will ask me, oh, this might be a stupid question. No, never a stupid question. You're hiring me to come do the work. If you have questions that are asked, that's the time to ask them.
Wonderful.
Because it's sometimes it's not easy to get contractors to your houses, especially up here in this valley with the boom that's going on up here. You need to ask the questions. Don't feel stupid about asking the question. That's not, I mean, there's a lot of times I'm good at electrical. I understand electrical. There's a lot of things that I don't understand well in general life or doing other things. And there's times where I'm like, shoot, I really wish I'd asked that question while that guy was here, or I had him on the phone or something, you know? So write your questions down before you talk to that guy, because you might have a limited window to be able to talk to the contractor or whoever you're doing. So days before they show up, just have some questions written down to make sure you don't forget to ask them that, because then all of a sudden it might be hard to get a hold of them after they're gone, or get them back to the place to do something. So
smart.
So just keep that in mind.
So wonderful. I think those are really great points for, you know, just other contractors or just customers. So whoever's coming to you, to just think about that. And I think, you know, as long as we ask questions, then you're not looking back saying, I wish I would have said something, or I wish I would. Because, you know, everybody does that. You always think that, you know, so to speak.
You know what questions are never answered? Questions that are never asked.
That's good. That's good. And that's the wrap on today's episode with Brass Ridge Electric. So whether you're building, remodeling, or just need something fixed right the first time, you know who to call, Marty with Brass Ridge Electric, where he brings quality, integrity, and of course, that good old Montana work ethic to every job. And hey, at Complete Restoration, we don't just clean up the mess, we work with the best. And that's why we're proud to partner with pros like Brass Ridge Electric.